Hi, it's Paul from Model Builder International. Don't forget, as always, the subscribe button is down there for you to use. That way you get notified of all the future videos, giveaways, competitions, all that stuff that we do. And we'll probably have a giveaway coming up pretty shortly, actually, just a small one. So today we're going to have a look at another kit from AJM Models. This one is a 1/700th HMS Express. Firstly, I'd just like to say that we have this kit for sale on our online shop. There's a link to that underneath this video and also on the website article. Any profits that we get from the online shop, they go into supporting the community, keeping our websites up and running, prizes, all that sort of stuff. HMS Express was an E-class mine-laying destroyer built for the Royal Navy in the early 30s. She spent most of the first year of World War II laying minefields in British, Dutch and German waters. She participated in the evacuation from Dunkirk. She was one of 3 British mine-laying destroyers that accidentally entered a German minefield off the Dutch coast a few months later. 2 destroyers were sunk. Express had her bow blown off and was under repair for over a year. She escorted the battleship Prince of Wales and the battlecruiser Repulse to Singapore and was with them on their fateful last sortie. The destroyer then rescued survivors after the two capital ships were sunk by Japanese bombers. She was then assigned convoy escort duties in and around Singapore, and as the Japanese advanced, she escaped from the East Indies and rejoined the main body of the Eastern Fleet in the Indian Ocean. She returned home in early 1943 to begin conversion to an escort destroyer. Once completed, she was transferred to the Royal Canadian Navy and renamed Gatineau. Gatineau was paid off in early 1946, sold the following year, and the ship became part of a breakwater on the coast of British Columbia in 1948. Okay, so let's have a look, see what we get inside the box. You got AJM Models, a Type E destroyer, HMS Express from 1941-42 timescale in 1/700th scale, and kit number 700-017. So pretty sturdy box, again as before. Instructions. So it's basically printed on paper, 2 sheets, both sides. Side there with basically colour layout of the photo etch sheet, colours called out in life colour, and then over the page we've got the instructions. They look pretty straightforward, easy enough to follow, laid out quite nicely. Learned from these ones that when I find it, there's one. The rounded boxes are resin parts and the square boxes are PE parts. So that's pretty neat. And looking in here, we've got assorted parts of packing. I'll just take that out. And we got a bag of resin, rolled up ship's hull, and a bag of decals and photo etch. So a quick look at the ship's hull, if I can just, there you go, that's easy. So looking at this, obviously a little bit of flash around the edges to clean up, but the actual hull itself looks good. Not seeing any bubbles here, I'm just seeing maybe a little bit there to fill once it's sanded down, but it's just done where at the very bottom there. And a smooth finish, which I think makes sense because they have metal decks. That's pretty good. There'll be close-ups of these in the on the website There'll be a link underneath this video to those. So the photo etch and decals. Take this out of here. Well, that's the photo etch. It's pretty thin actually, really thin photo etch. And there's, I can see the parts are numbered up to 60 odd in there, and there'll be more than that though. I'll have to count those, see what's there. And then we got, those look like the splinter shields for the guns, main armament. And then these parts, not sure yet. I think they might be for kind of superstructure. There's lots of small parts on there. We've also got a piece of copper wire and decals for each 61. There's a few there, some smaller ones as well. So with this decal sheet you could only make this as HMS Express. Obviously there was other ships in the class. And in here we have, so I can get these out of here. There's a whole heap of resin parts. Superstructure parts with side detail on the sides there, even portholes, storage lockers on the outside there, torpedo tubes, funnels, hollow on the top, ship's boats, they look nice. More superstructure, again nicely detailed. Again, parts there, quite thin, nicely detailed. Life rafts, again with detail inside them. Anyway, I'll put all these parts, you can see there's lots of detail in this stuff. I'll put all these, take close-ups of all these parts, put them on the website so you can have a close-up look at them. There's quite a few parts here, and I'll count up exactly how many parts are in here. But there seems to be quite a high parts count for a 1/700th destroyer. So far so good. What I'll have to do is we'll have a look at the instructions, we'll have a close-up look at some of the parts. I'll post all those online on the website. But so far, looks pretty neat. The only other people who've made a kit of this class of ship are Tamiya with an E-Class kit from 2007. It has about 59 parts, so it doesn't really compare to the level of detail in this kit. Even if you manage to find one of the White Ensign upgrade sets for this Tamiya model, you'll still get more detail in this kit. So, inside the box we have 120 resin parts plus a solid resin hull, one PE sheet with about 140 parts, 4 small PE sheets with 12 parts, a decal sheet, 2 sheets of double-sided paper giving 1 colour page of parts layout and painting guide, and 3 pages of build instructions over 9 steps. So now we'll go through the instructions. There's only 3 pages, 3 steps per page, and basically the instructions have you start at the forward end of the ship and head aft. So we'll start off looking at the page 1 at the forward end of the ship. The main hull itself is nicely detailed. You will need to do a bit of cleanup at the waterline of the hull. If you put it in a diorama you could probably hide this, but it wouldn't take much, and is not a surprise with a resin model. These things happen. So start off there adding photo etch railings, photo etch gun shields, and the first piece of superstructure, and basically work our way back, build the bridge, and then fix more small parts at the forward end of the ship. Page 2, and we're working amidships, adding lots of ladders. Add the funnel. The funnel is mostly hollow, photo etch goes on the top of that, adding more photo etch amidships, torpedo tubes, small resin parts, lots of small resin parts in this build, and then adding another gun platform further aft. And then on the last page, the last 3 steps, the first 2 of these steps we're working at the back end of the ship, adding the rearmost two guns, ship's rails, depth charge rails, some dinghies, davits, lots of small PE parts, lots of small resin parts to go with them. And the final step, we actually jump forward again, we're adding the ship's boats and the davits they hang on, and some rescue floats as well. And now, paints and decals. Paints are called out in life colour reference numbers and also named. Should be easy enough to convert those online into anything else you use. And I tend to use Ammo, Tamiya, those are my sort of go-to colours. The side profile and the view from above show you everything you need to know. Might need a bit of research just to sort out some colourings of ship's boats and things like that, just to make sure you get them right. But all pretty neat. You get a decal sheet which gives you everything you need for HMS Express. Note you can only do HMS Express using these decal sheets, although you can always print your own, I guess. But everything you need is there. So, an overall conclusion. This particular kit easily outpaces the Tamiya kit with regards to the parts count, the amount of detail on the ship. Even if you manage to find one of the White Ensign PE sets, there's still more detail in this ship. This kit only allows you to build the HMS Express, though the decals only give you H61. The Tamiya kit allows you to build, or to put the decals on for quite a few of the ships. But I believe that this, the detail on this ship makes it specifically H61. If you put another ship's numbers on there, most people wouldn't know, but it wouldn't be 100% accurate. But that being that aside, if you're after accuracy and level of detail, this is easily the one to go for. You will need a bit of experience working with resin. You need a face mask if you're sanding or grinding bits off the pour stubs. You need to some previous work with small parts, and photo etch would definitely come in useful. Other than that, it's a pretty awesome little kit, and many thanks to AJM Models for supplying our review sample.